Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of Cheap Air's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And yeah, the sun's getting ready to go down here, but I wanted to get a video in because I haven't put one up in a couple of days, and I didn't want everybody to think that I tried climbing down that bottomless pit to find my old cell phone or anything, and couldn't get back up. But anyway, I'm out here and it's starting to cool down a little bit, so I'm going to try to get a little work done. I got some repairs to do on my trailer. That one guy that had hit this backlight and broke it, rear-ended me. Well, I got a spare, so I'm going to change that out. And then this metal bracket on the side of here is come loose, so I'm going to get that back in place. And also, when that guy had hit me, he broke the weld that holds this plate from jumping all over the place. So I'm going to re-tack that down and take care of all of the little repairs on the trailer. And the reason I noticed all of this was because I used it yesterday. I loaded the other empty tote down there onto my trailer, and my neighbors were nice enough to give me 550 gallons worth of water. And those two totes there down by the greenhouse are full now. That one's still got half of it in it. That's the overhead sprinklers. I don't use that one as often as I do the others, because the other ones are hooked to a garden hose that I use for spot watering and make sure I get all of the plants that need different amounts of water. For those of you who don't know about that, well, you usually try to plant plants together that like lots of water, like strawberries and jalapeno peppers. They love lots and lots of water, and they like sunshine. So plant them pretty close to each other so that when you water, you don't overwater one plant or underwater the other plant. They all want about the same amount. Things like that. But you don't want tomatoes to be placed next to corn or too close to corn. I had my corn down the center of the grow house, and I had the tomatoes on both sides. So the overheads would water the corn and soak the corn down really well, but the two sides, the tomatoes actually had to reach out their roots through the ground to find that water. So tomatoes don't like uneven watering. They don't like to be wet and then dry and wet and then dry. They want to be just constantly moist soil. That's what makes tomatoes grow the best. And I've been getting away from that for a while because I've had so many other things I had to deal with, like the critters getting to my mulberry trees. So I want to show you about how that's going. My new wraparounds for the base of the tree, and that's been doing great with the wire down underneath. The critters quit trying to dig to get down there. They just said, hey, we can't get through this wire. So look what's been happening. Hey, look, fresh little sprouts coming out all over the place. Yeah, it's coming back to life. So I'm going to have this filled back up with leaves in no time. Now this one, they never did get to all the leaves at the top of it. I think it's because it was tall and the branches were too skinny to actually get up there. But yeah, this one's got new growth coming out too. See it down here. So yeah, they're all doing really well with the new setup, and you can see where where I watered and the wire mesh is actually showing through. But the critters just, I guess they're smart enough to know. You come around here, try to mess with my mulberry trees, and you're going to get lead to the head. So anyway, the biggest problem lately has been ants. Ants are everywhere. Every size, shape, breed, you name, the ants are here. Now look at this one right here by the chicken coop. And there's ants everywhere. If I stand here for a few seconds, they'll be all over my feet, biting me in the feet and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to get something going on this, and I've heard about neem oil, Neem oil, and apparently that ants don't like it, but I'm not trying to move the ants away. I want to kill the little buggers because there's just way too many of them here. I mean, I can walk around this little quarter-acre area here and show you probably 12 holes like that with ants coming out of it. It's not fun. And then today, I went into my pantry because I had some fiddle faddle, caramel corn in there, and I just had an urge to have a couple of bites of that. I sat down, stuck my hand in the box, pulled it out, started eating, and all of a sudden I was feeling an itch all over me. And I looked and I had ants all over me. Well, the ants had come up from underneath the cabin, got into my pantry, found their way up to the second from the top shelf to where my fiddle faddle was, and got into the box, and they were all over the caramel corn. So there's the caramel corn out here. I had to take the whole box out here and just toss it, and the birds have been picking it up all day long. But just there were ants all over it. I couldn't do anything with it. Not fun. I hate ants to pieces. Lots of ants around. Not too many uncles, but lots of ants. I guess that's why they're ornery. Anyway, got that covered. The weather has been very, very hot. And even though I'm getting up at 5:30 in the morning, sit down, have a coffee, I look at the thermometer for the greenhouse out there, and it's already 101 degrees at that time in the morning. And the sun has just started to crest over the mountains down there. So it's way too hot in there to be working around that powder and that dust, and having to wear a mask in there because of the amount of dust that's flying around. Even with the doors open on that, it got up to 136 degrees in there today. I said, no, I ain't working in that type of temperature. So I'll let it cool down a little bit. So wanted to cover that part. And let's see, tonight's, I went in to check my mail today. And I always keep a cooler full of ice here. So if I want to have drinks on the rocks, or want to cool down some beer really quick, I have a 5-day cooler full of ice. So the ice lasts a long time. And then when it melts, it doesn't get wasted. That either goes into chicken water for the chickens to drink, or if I have plenty of water for them to drink, then it goes into watering plants. So all water on a homestead should get used twice. But anyway, while I was down there checking my mail today, I decided to stop and put some gas in the tank because I have a card with the local market there, and that gives me a reduction on the price of gas. I get like 10 cents off a gallon or something like that. So anyway, I'm there, and there's a fly bugging me, of course. I'm down there, and I'm pumping it, and I heard a guy talking on the other side of the pumps, and I looked over and I saw a white truck there, and I said, well, I don't know who he's talking to, but he seems to be having a good old time with his conversation. And then all of a sudden, I see the truck starting to move, and I see the pump hose going out with the truck. And I yelled, hey, stop, stop. And of course, he had all his windows rolled up and his air conditioning on probably. But everybody else inside the store and everything heard me, and they came out to see what was going on. But he yanked that pump right off of the, yanked the hose right off of the pump. And they have that disconnect on there just for that safety to disconnect it. Well, that disconnected, but the way the hose was kinked, he actually broke the rubber hose above that, so it didn't automatically shut off. It started spraying gas out onto the parking lot. So I says, hey man, there's a gas leak here. Don't start your car. Keep it shut off. So they came out and they took care of that. Probably took about 5 or 10 minutes, and I finally could get in and start up and get out of there. But yeah, first time in my life I ever saw somebody drive away with the pump still inside of their gas tank. Poor old guy. I guess he's reached that time of age where his memory's not as good as it used to be, or he was distracted by the conversation he was having and just forgot that he still had the pump in the tank. Anyway, tonight I'm going to make fish and chips with homemade coleslaw. I got some cabbage out of the garden house and a fresh carrot out of the garden house. I'll shred all of that up, and then I'll mix it up with some mayo and sugar and salt and pepper and lemon juice and a little bit of vinegar, and make a nice sauce to go on it. And I'll have myself some homemade coleslaw with fish and chips. It sounds good to me. That's about all I have for everybody today, and I just want to thank you all for stopping by. Sorry I was lazy with the temperatures here, sitting inside with the fan on instead of going out and doing work, but I'll get some work done. I got some exciting stuff going on tomorrow, and that should be a great episode for tomorrow's episode. G-Bear reminding you, give me a thumbs up down there, please. G-Bear signing off.